Welcome, everyone, and solstice blessings. I'm Megan Mermaid, and we are here today to just come together in a space of co creation and community and prayer, and just really honor and reflect upon this very powerful sacred portal of solstice. So, if you're just tuning in, feel free to say hello. Let me know where you're joining from, how your day is going. We're going to give everyone just a moment or two to hop on. I just feel like we should all just take a collective breath. I'm seated here. It took me a few more moments than usual to set up because my couch, the leg broke. And so I had it sort of like propped on some toilet paper rolls to see if it would stay. And when I sat down, it just fell again. So I had to move everything over. And that's kind of how everything is felt in these past few weeks during solstice, during Mercury retrograde. Hi, Micah. Hi, Leah. Good to see all of you. Thank you so much for being here live. I'm so happy to be here with all of you. And as I've been sort of contemplating on solstice and what that means for us and how the natural vibration and harmony of the universe is compared to how we're almost expected to act in this busied and hurried way in the holiday season. It's like two polar opposites, and we feel that. So let me know if you've been feeling that push pull. Hi, Nanas from Denmark. So grateful to see you here. And, in the last week, my daughter got sick. She got strep throat, and then she gave it to me. And I just even thought about how, even though I was feeling sick, which I never get sick usually, I just went to the emergency or the urgent care. I got whatever medication I needed, and I just kept going. I didn't even stop. I didn't even pause. I didn't even breathe. And so, hi, Betsy. Good to see you. Wonderful. I'll be excited for you to tune in when you get a moment. Thanks for letting us know. So, there's just been this energy of hurry and rush and get it all done. And perhaps, there might be holiday parties or events that you're getting ready for or gift shopping. And, let's not even bring into play what's happening across the world right now. Let's just talk about the regular stress and overwhelm of the holiday season and how that's so polar opposite of how the universe wants us to be in this moment. As we contemplate on solstice and the meaning of solstice, the words that come to mind right away are rest, pause, relaxation, reflection, silence, serenity. And think about that. Just take a moment and just breathe into the vibration of those words. How even just speaking those words creates spaciousness. Last night, after my daughter went to sleep, I lit a white candle. It's always been my tradition that the night before solstice, through solstice, and then solstice eve, all the way to the next day on the 22nd, I keep that white candle burning. And it's sort of been this ritual for me of recognizing that the light, that inner light, is shining even in the darkness. And when I looked at that light, it took me out of that hurry and that overwhelm that I feel like I've been stuck in. And I just saw that that's what this season is about. It's really just about taking that moment to just witness the light within the darkness. And on a collective level, this is so important because that's what we're being asked to do as we're, hi, welcome everyone, welcome Info Prison. There's so much darkness that is occurring on the planet right now, and it can feel easy to feel weighed down by that. There's genocide that's occurring across the planet. There are people that are starving, that are hungry, and that are just experiencing horrible, horrible atrocities. And then we think about, where we're at, whatever country that you're in, whatever culture that you're in, how there's all of these societal expectations to be jolly and to be merry and to make all of these experiences go, 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 rush, 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 shop, 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 buy, buy, buy. And it's just such a contrast. So it doesn't mean that you can't participate in holiday activities and all of that. We all have to choose how we want to celebrate and what celebration means for us. But I really encourage you to look within intuitively and decide that for yourself without feeling the stress and the overwhelm and the pressure to make things happen. In the Hindu pantheon, they describe thoughts as entities. So the higher thoughts are almost like these angelic beings, which they refer to as devas. And the lower thought forms are thought of as asuras. And so we can have the asura of self-doubt or the asura of perfectionism. And I want you to just sit for a moment and think about what those thought forms, those lower thought forms, have been kind of pressing at you or pushing at you. For me, it's definitely been an experience of self-doubt and judging myself. And, oftentimes when we're experiencing that self-judgment, it almost pushes us into overdrive to want to perform, to feel some type of approval or some type of recognition, like almost like if we can just produce enough or perform enough or do enough, then maybe we will feel worthy. But as we know, it's never that. It's always we get to that space and then it's something else and something else. And that feeling of worthiness is always just out of reach, because we're searching for it outside of ourselves. And it will always be a losing battle when we approach life in that way. And so it was very interesting because on my way home from teaching my class this morning, which again, it was such an interesting thing. I don't know how you guys have been experiencing Mercury retrograde, but I feel like it's been another challenge where it's just communication glitches, technological things. I missed my alarm. I had to rush and get my daughter over to her dad's. I had to rush to my class. And then, I felt like such low energy and I still had to perform and teach this class and I had to drive home. And I could just feel this almost like anxious, erratic energy within. And I felt like it was what I was picking up collectively, that I'm not the only one that's experiencing this, because we're all connected and we all are connected in our thoughts and in the collective consciousness. So this is a program that's running. It's a programming that's running, that's keeping us busy, 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 doubting ourselves, judging ourselves, blaming ourselves. And it's keeping us, number one, from being silent enough to hear that intuitive guidance that will lead us to the simplest, easiest step that is most in alignment with our hearts and with the flow of the universe. And it's also keeping us in this space of almost exerting our own will on the universe. That's actually what we're doing. When we think about it in this way, it's actually very arrogant for us to be going against the natural flow of life and be in such a hurried rush trying to get things done and complete things and be here and be there and accomplish this and accomplish that, when the universe is saying, slow down, pause, be, just be. And so as I was driving home today, I was listening to a talk from one of the speakers at the spiritual center that I attend, and he was talking about the power of love. And he shared this practice, which I want us to do in just a moment, but I kind of wanted to give some framework because, he was sharing about how the teachings of Jesus, the ascended master, the great avatar, how it can really be summed up in 3 words, or 3 actions rather. And the first is love others, don't judge, and when you forget, forgive. And that's really so powerful when we think of things in this space of simplicity. Love, don't judge, forgive. And so he had us do this practice, which I want us to take a moment to just feel into, to kind of think about for a moment someone that you really love. Maybe it's your partner, maybe it's your child, maybe it's a friend or a family member or a pet, a beloved pet. And just take a moment to feel your heart open as you just think about the warmth that it creates when you bring that being into your heart space and you contemplate on the love and the joy that you have for them. It feels good, right? You can feel that. And now I want you to bring into mind and to bring into focus someone that really triggers you. Maybe it's a family member or a co-parent or someone else in your environment, an employer, employee. Maybe it's someone that's a public figure or a politician, and you think of this person and your heart just closes. And just notice that contrast, the love and the judgment, right? And so when we think about this in our own lives, how often are we extending love to ourselves, opening our hearts to ourselves, and how often are we judging ourselves? If you're anything like me, you've probably been in a very deep space of self-judgment. And then we think about this collectively. This is how the war and the conflict and all of it starts. It starts with the closing of our hearts and the judging of others, the forgetting that we are all one. And so this simple practice just reminds us about the fact that all it takes is this commitment to continue to keep our heart open. And when we forget and when we judge ourselves or when we judge others, to forgive and to start again. Just those 3 steps: love, don't judge, forgive. Seems easy, right? And so, how does this play out in everything that's happening across the planet right now? 2023 has been such a pivotal year. I don't think any of us expected all of the things that would take place. And I want you to take a moment to just think about who you were at the beginning of this year or even the middle of this year. We had a Venus retrograde. We had some really powerful eclipse portals. Maybe your values have changed. Maybe certain things that felt really important to you have changed. Maybe you've moved or changed location. I know I have. Maybe your career has changed in some way. I feel that, my career has sort of shifted and flowed in many ways, and I've been sort of taken on a new direction. And there's so much change that's happened. And because we've just all been in such a rush, I don't really feel like we take enough time to honor and acknowledge and maybe even grieve for those previous versions of ourselves or those previous versions of life. Even if you may not be experiencing an atrocity at the level that many humans on this planet are suffering, we are all struggling in many ways. Inflation, the cost of living, just surviving has gotten more and more difficult. And so many people are hurting. So many people have their hearts closed. And so that brings us back to solstice, where winter solstice, if you're in the northern hemisphere, it represents the darkest night, the day of the year that's shortest. So the night is longest, the day is shortest. It's like this allegorical way of looking at the darkness overtaking the light in some way. But when we really get into metaphysics, it's Mercury retrograde, so communication sometimes is challenging. Even speaking is challenging. Metaphysically, when we think about the darkness, it's not necessarily an energy of evil. There are lower vibrations, of course, and higher vibrations. But when we think about the darkness, it's really the space where everything comes from, the womb, the moment of conception, where all is birthed from. And so, what we need to understand is that this solstice sort of represents, even in that darkness, which can be thought of as uncertainty, or it can be thought of as, just not being clear about what that next step is, or not being able to see what the solution is, especially on a global scale right now with everything that's occurring. That the solstice represents that light, that inner light is shining. It's that spark. We're here to cultivate that spark. And the spark is what will slowly ignite another flame, and another flame, and another flame, and another flame. And this moment is such a great time where the veils are thin and we have access to more information from higher dimensional realities. But we have to be available to listen. We have to be available to receive it. And if we're in this hurried, frantic energy, we're not going to hear that still, small voice. So that's why today I just really felt called for us to just gather, whether you are live or on the replay, and just take a moment out of our days to just pause. How often do we just pause without going from one thing to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing? And I've been a student of the Gene Keys, and Richard Rudd, who is the creator of the Gene Keys, talks about the art of contemplation. And the art of contemplation begins with the pause. And he shares that the more that we create pauses in our life, the more that we actually have more time. And it's kind of this different thinking than we've been programmed with. I was even experiencing it myself, rushing to do this, rushing to do that, rushing to get ready, rushing to set up my space. And I noticed that in that rush, I was taking more time, right? Because I'm rushing, looking for something, rushing to hook my lamp up, and then the lamp breaks, and I have to, take that moment to put it all together. When if we just take the moment to just pause and move with intention, and move at a space that is in harmony with the syncopation of the universe in this moment right now, we'll actually have more time, because we're going to step into that space of timelessness. And we learn about that in, I believe it's Gene Key 26, where we move from impatience to patience to timelessness. So when we're feeling impatient and we're rushing around trying to get things done, we lose out on that eternal now moment, where there's a moment where light becomes so bright that the time-space continuum sort of begins to dissipate. It's the light that allows time to sort of fall away. And I thought that was such an interesting concept, because as we bring in more light within our lives, as we sort of cultivate that inner flame, that inner fire, we have more time, because there is no time. The Course in Miracles, which is another sacred text, teaches that time is a learning device. And so, it's only relevant for us to learn lessons. And the lesson that we're learning in Solstice is that the light has won, and that we are one and the same with all, and that it's safe to rest, it's safe to receive. Winter itself is almost like this death before a rebirth, and deaths are a part of life. So we do have to grieve that. We have to grieve endings. And, this isn't a moment, especially because we're in Mercury retrograde, it's not really a time where we're supposed to be starting new things, or, putting all of our energy into accomplishing things. This is a moment of pause and reflection as Mercury goes direct, before Mercury goes direct on January 1st. And as we're in winter, the season of winter is that time, when we think about the the imagery of the seasons. It's like winter is that time where everything has to fall away. It has to die. And we go into that stillness. And then the rebirth happens. But we can't have the rebirth without the darkness. We can't have the new beginning without the ending, without the closing of the chapter. And so we rob ourselves of this very beautiful moment of spiritual wisdom and insight and epiphanies when we're trying to rush and force the rebirth. We have to be with the death. We have to be with the winter. So even if you're not experiencing winter where you're at, maybe you're in the southern hemisphere right now, it's very different. This imagery is still relevant where, we're all going through some type of winter in our life where it might seem like something is falling away, or it feels like there's some type of lack or scarcity, or it just may feel like things are on hold. And that's when that fear comes in, right? If something isn't happening as quickly as we'd like it to, we have this fear, and then we want to try to force and make things happen. And then we're going up against the natural flow of the universe, and we feel it in our bodies. Why do you think so many people experience colds and sickness and those sorts of things during this season? It's because we're trying to hurry and rush and force our will upon a universe that's saying, slow down and trust, not my will, but thy will. So in this solstice, as we just take this moment of pause and reflection and gratitude, I'm going to open the space for just a moment, and feel free to share anything that's on your heart. Maybe you want to just share what you want to release. Release is a very powerful word as well for winter solstice. What we're releasing as we step into this winter. And sometimes it might just be surrendering an idea of how you thought things were going to be. Maybe you're releasing your addiction to fear or your addiction to stress, or maybe you're just releasing anxiety or overwhelm. Feel free to share in the chat what you want to release, and I'll just take a moment to catch up with some of the comments that have been coming in. Let's see. Abundance of inner peace and love. Love that. Totally agree. Feels hectic. Thinking and saying for months, it's time to slow down, feel, heal, and allow things to happen. I love that. Thank you, Info Prism. Hi, Richard. Good to see you. Richard is releasing victimhood. That's so powerful. I'd love to hear what anyone else would like to speak into this space. And then I'm going to just take us through just a moment of a guided meditation and prayer. And it's so powerful when we come together in collective energies, especially in portals like solstices and equinoxes and eclipses, where the energy is amplified, it's activated in many ways. Let's see. Info Prism sharing, I learned the hard way not to push, just allow, trust in God's divine time. They're working hard in our favor. Beautiful. Thank you guys so much for all of the beautiful comments that are coming in. And I'm going to pull one card as I wait to see if anyone else wants to share what they'd like to release or receive today. Oh, this is so beautiful. From my deck, the Mermaid Empowerment Oracle. What do we get? Patience. And so the Mermaid Empowerment for patience is, I love myself through the becoming. And this is so powerful for winter solstice. Winter is not the end. It's almost like the middle. So right now, in a lot of ways, we're in the middle of our story. And in the middle, not everything is worked out, right? Any good story or any movie, right in the middle, that's when you start to see the plot and you start to see the challenges and you start to see the character development, but you don't yet see that solution. And think about, if you went to go see a movie or you read a book and it was just like, oh, the character was wonderful and they lived a great life and nothing ever happened, and the end, it wouldn't be very exciting. And so I feel like when we start to shift our perception and rather than seeing the middle, the winter, this kind of going within, this pause as something to fear or something to try to control or manipulate, and we see it as this adventure, this curiosity of, wow, I wonder how it's going to all work out, or I wonder how it's going to play out, or what is the rebirth going to look like in my life. So this mermaid empowerment, I love myself through the becoming, is so beautiful, because just as we learned those 3 powerful action steps that the Master Jesus can share with us is love yourself, don't judge, forgive. Simple, right? I really like simplicity. And so this card is about self-love, being patient with ourselves, loving ourselves in the winter of our lives, loving ourselves when we're not where we'd like to be, loving ourselves when there's things that we'd like to change about ourselves, whether it's physically or, financially or career-wise, or, maybe you want to call something in your life and it's not there yet. And you're feeling that winter of the falling away. It's like, how can you love the barrenness that's happening, that void, that darkness? How can you love that space, honor that space, acknowledge that space before it becomes the blossoming and the blooming of the rebirth? And this is where we can really experience some deep, powerful insights within ourselves if we allow ourselves to just be silent and go within and imagine just the welcoming and the honoring of the void. We're always trying to fill something or make something happen. But if we can just let that space be and trust that there is a divine timing, as some of you had shared, trusting in that divine timing, trusting in that divine will, just witnessing the spaciousness, being the vessel, letting it all fall away, is this very beautiful practice. Because if we let it all fall away, if we let whatever needs to die, then we can experience the space of the rebirth. All right. Yeah, and Richard sharing, be patient with yourself. I love that. All right, so we're just going to take a moment to just feel into this space of love and go on a quick kind of guided meditation here. We're just going to keep it real simple today. So just go ahead and close your eyes and take a few deep inhales in, exhaling it out. And just begin to imagine that this beautiful white light directly from source consciousness begins to descend like a dove of peace. And it flows like a waterfall through your crown chakra, your third eye, your throat, your heart, your solar plexus, your sacral chakra, your root chakra, all the way down to your feet. And this light begins to pour out of you, creating a bubble of white light around you. And just feel the energy of this white light, this love, this grace, the beautiful light of source energy, just filling you in this beautiful blanket of light. And as you continue to breathe, we just consecrate this space for only the highest vibrations of love, truth, healing, and peace. And we choose to align with the highest frequency of love, the highest good of all, and the highest timeline for all. You can welcome in any spirit guides or ascended masters or angels that you work with that you'd like to call into this space of light and of love and of gratitude and of grace and appreciation. And just begin to visualize that we are all in this circle. And we are surrounded in this beautiful space of stillness. It's almost like this very clear moonlit night. And it's so still and it's so silent. And as you breathe, you can see that cloud of breath that's beginning to materialize in front of you. And we're all sort of gathering in this circle. And in the center of this circle is this very small fire, very teeny. And in in this circle, each of us are holding this very small white candle. So I want you to just imagine for a moment, just as we did at the beginning of this exercise, or the beginning of this transmission, rather, bringing someone into your awareness that you have deep love for. So again, it could be a beloved pet or a child or a family member, or even just someone that just brings that feeling of warmth within you, whoever it is, or several people. Just do what it takes to experience that feeling of love beginning to wash over you. And as you begin to experience that love and allow it to just fill your heart and feel that circle of light around you, that bubble of light and grace that you've been created, look down and you may begin to see and visualize that this candle, this white candle that you have, is now lit. And so I want you to just begin to focus upon the flame of this candle. And let's just take a moment to start individually. And as you meditate upon the flames of this candle, just bring to mind whatever wants to be released. You know, maybe there's certain memories of challenges or experiences that you've had throughout this year that you're ready to release, and that you want to let these flames kind of just burn away and wash away. Or, you know, maybe it's just feeling that you want more of something. Maybe you want more peace, or maybe you want more stillness, or maybe you just want more trust in the universe, trust in yourself. Maybe there is a health issue that you would like support in. And this sacred holy fire is offering the space to burn away the impurities and spark that activation of whatever that prayerful intention is that you have in your heart. And then I just want you to take a moment to honor and acknowledge all of the versions of you that have come forth within this year, sending them great love. You may even want to say, we're all on mute here, so you can even say after me, thank you. Thank you to the versions of me who have come before. I send you great love. I send you great light. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for the role that you have had in my awakening. So now let's extend that same acknowledgement and gratitude to anyone in your life that has passed. You know, maybe you've had a breakup this year, or maybe a pet or a family member, or someone has transitioned, or, you know, maybe someone moved away, or you changed locations and certain people are no longer a part of your life. Just take a moment to acknowledge and have that beautiful gratitude for whoever was a part of this year in some way, shape, or form that is no longer here in this moment. And let's just say these three prayers of intention together to release those people or pets or beings. May you be happy. May you be free. May you be loved. And now I want us to extend this energy even further. And let's just think about all of the people on this planet that may be suffering, whether it's people that feel lonely or isolated or rejected, or that are experiencing some kind of pain physically, mentally, emotionally, for those who have been displaced from their homes, for those who are experiencing famine or genocide or oppression. For all of the world leaders that are lost, that are power hungry, that are making decisions that are affecting the livelihoods of humans across this planet and creating suffering across the planet. May we just bring the light of grace, the pure light of grace into each and every heart, each and every being upon this planet, so that all beings may be happy, that all beings may be loved, that all beings may be free. And we just bring this energy of peace and abundance and silence and serenity. And we surround this space and we surround this planet with the light of God. And we ask that suffering on this planet be released, that oppression on this planet be released, that whatever struggle that anyone on this planet is going through that has caused them to feel like they are alone or they are not enough, may it be released. And we call in the energy of impatience, and we ask that this impatience be transformed into timelessness, so that we may feel the energy of more time, more spaciousness, more flow within our lives. And now we're all being asked to stand in our place in the circle and take our particular candle and light this little fire. So it started out as these little tiny embers, and maybe there's a little piece of firewood that is near you, and you can just kind of place that candle towards that firewood and just allow your individual spark to contribute to this collective spark. And watch as what was a few little tiny sparks and embers beginning to glow and to grow, filling this space with the warmth of Christ consciousness, filling this space with the energy of love, forgiveness, and non-judgment, goodwill to all beings, asking that all beings be happy and free, including ourselves. Bringing in the energy of patience for ourselves, for loving ourselves, releasing this addiction to stress and to judgment of ourselves, doubting ourselves, berating ourselves. May all of this be released in this powerful solstice portal as we remember the strength of our unique vibration, our unique fractal of God consciousness. And now this fire begins to dematerialize. And we are left in this space of darkness, stillness, void. And in this space, just allow yourself to be present and to acknowledge this void, to acknowledge this spaciousness, rather than fearing the darkness of uncertainty, seeing it as hope of a place of infinite potentiality. But in order for that infinite potentiality to arrive, we must allow this space to be for however long is necessary. And so we send our final prayers and intentions and gratitude into this beautiful space of co-creation. And as you are ready, just begin to come back into your body, breathing, and when you're ready, you can just open your eyes, and let's just take a moment again to comment in the chat if anyone would like to share their experience or anything that came to them, and we'll just take a few more moments of being in this space. And someone asked for subtitles. Thank you so much for your patience. I am on a streaming platform where it's not possible to have that prior, but please know that I will turn them on after this live. And so you can tune into the replay and the subtitles will be available for you. So thank you so much for your patience and understanding for that particular technical piece. And so again, I'm now offering Gene Key sessions if you're interested in diving deep into your hologenetic profile. I also offer galactic channeled readings. And if you're not sure what service would be the right fit for you, or if you want to learn more about how I can support you, you can visit my website at meganmermaid.com. You can also get your own copy of the Mermaid Empowerment Oracle deck at meganmermaid.com. And I just appreciate all of you. I'm so grateful for you and grateful for this powerful year. I feel like so much of us are changing and shifting in many ways as the world is changing and shifting. And so I thank you so much for being a part of this journey with me and, honoring the changes that I've made, both individually and in the direction that I've been sort of taking my creative work and my offerings. So thank you so much for being a part of this journey with me, and Solstice blessings. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Info Prism. Thank you, all of you who are watching live or on the replay. And again, remember, take a moment, at least a few moments, to pause today, and if possible, just spend some time in silence and meditation so that you can allow yourself to receive whatever wisdom would like to be given to your own soul in this powerful portal. So thank you all, and have a beautiful rest of your day. Solstice blessings.